Let's talk about
Where are
Final
you going with
Fantasy.
this, Jason?
Let's talk about
Okay.
Final Fantasy
Okay.
because it's less of a
Final
game and
Fantasy.
more of a
Experience.
show. It's an
It's more of a
experience.
fantasy experience.
Yeah,
More of a melodrama.
yeah. Oh, it's very melodramatic. Holy,
It is.
oh wow,
It is.
yeah. It's, I mean, but it's kind of to be expected. That's what they were going for, and what they were going for is Game of Thrones. And yeah, we've said that before. It's definitely living up to that hype. Although no boobies, and not that I'm disappointed or anything. I wanted them to take it all the way. And
Keep
really
playing, Jason.
Really?
Keep playing.
Okay. All right. I didn't see any.
Playing.
I didn't see any nipples, Travis.
Are you a fan of dong?
Dong? Like
Yeah.
dong, dig dong,
Why are
never
we going
die.
down this road?
Yes.
Why are we going down this road, guys?
I like
Can
me
we
some
just talk about the game,
dong.
please?
What of it?
No, I'm with you. So Jason, how far would you say, like, maybe like you're past the demo? Did you continue after the demo?
Yeah, I'm probably 10, 12 hours, I think.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm in it.
Okay. So I maybe I didn't play as much as I would have liked. But I'm maybe about 5 or 6 hours past the point of the demo.
Sure.
And it definitely is. I'm not underwhelmed by any stretch of the imagination, but yet I've yet to be like grabbed after that strong finish in the demo. I've yet to be like further grabbed into it. And right now where I'm at, I'm like, okay, the game is extremely linear.
Yep. And it
and
continues to be so, for quite a while.
Yeah, and not necessarily a complete negative, because I do feel like it will open up. So I'm just practicing a little bit of patience there. But I do find myself just kind of begging for the next combat sequence. Like whenever I'm not in combat, I want to be in the next combat sequence. And then once I'm in like actual general gameplay, running around a zone and fighting, I'm having a blast. I like where I'm at now. The combat for me, where I'm at in the story, is not necessarily like truly opened up. It still feels like more of the demo combat. So I'm upgrading things here and there, but I'm upgrading stuff that's already existed in the demo.
But at the combat demo, you had you only played the story demo, right?
I did. I didn't want to go too far into combat. I wanted to.
In the combat demo, they give you a couple other icons for you to use, which is actually more than you have when you're in that part of the actual story, I guess.
Interesting. Okay.
So have you? So you've gotten to that part of the story then?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm well past that. They have not let their foot off the gas until just recently, and I finally took a break from it, partially because I've needed to take frequent breaks, and I find the best way to do that is to, whenever my controller dies, so like every 2-3 hours, I just kind of get up and take a walk. That was a jab at PlayStation controllers. Okay, just checking.
I was gonna say, man, why is it only 2-3 hours?
But I'm finally at a point now where it's kind of diverged from the main storyline, and it's opened up a little bit. So I'm getting tons of side quests now and going back to other areas that I've previously visited. And I'm gonna wrap up some of that stuff before I dive headlong into the rest of it. But bear in mind it does open up, but then you got to play the side quests, which have not been all that great. They're fetch quests. They're walk 20 feet this way and talk to somebody, then go talk to somebody else. You're done. So a little left to be desired, I guess.
It's also a little glaring too, because like when you get a main scenario cutscene and it's phenomenal. Like so far, any cutscene that has to do with the main story has been really, really great. And but like when you get introduced to the side quest, the quote unquote cutscene sections of that, which are just like one character on one side, one character on the other, 2 cameras facing them, and it's just a very generic back and forth between the 2 characters, and it's almost like distractingly glaring of how high quality one set of cutscenes are versus the back and forth conversations that you're having in the side quests. Because like you go back to, and this is one end of the spectrum in for the positive, which is like Horizon Forbidden West. Those back and forth, even the smallest side quests in that game, the back and forth conversation between those characters, really well acted, great like facial capture. The characters feel real, and then in Final Fantasy, they definitely do feel very robotic and stiff. So
Little bit.
it's kind of a little bit of glaring polar opposites for me there, but it's not anything to like fully pull me out of the experience.
Yeah, I'm not fully pulled out yet either. That's why I've got 3 kids. What? Jesus Christ, Jason, get back on task here.
What you did there?
God damn. What was I gonna say? They're at least they're fully voice acted for the most part. There's a few lines here and there that are not voice acted, but you know, that's at least, you know, something that they did for these kind of bare bones side missions.
Yeah. I think the voice acting continues to be pretty pretty well spoken.
Yeah,
for the
certainly
most
seems
part.
like it.
There's a couple of characters at first when they first opened their mouths. I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of weird." But then like there's the giant character, like he started talking, and I'm
Hodor.
like, and then all of a sudden, like he starts talking more, and I'm like, okay, I love this guy. This guy's great. Like great voice, great like kind of not attitude, but like emotion from his voice. Like you kind of know who he is. So like
Goots is a good guy.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying that so far. And then, you know, there's Stella, like on top of Clive, which is still like a strong, consistent presence in the game.
Yeah.
You get introduced to Sid pretty early on, and his voice acting takes it up a notch. He's real. I wouldn't be surprised if this voice actor did like Shakespeare like professionally. You know,
Sure.
he's like really, really good. So I'm definitely enjoying the audio side of it. Especially the music, because I'm playing with some headphones, and then the music comes through, especially during the battle scenes, really, really, really well. So enjoying that part as well.
Me as well. Chris, I want to gauge your interest on this. Like, I know that you just bought it, but nobody else knows.
I mean, I told you guys, man. After I played the demo, I was sold.
Okay.
So not only because of the gameplay, and I'll be honest with you, like I actually appreciate the what Travis said about wanting to get to the next battle, like wanting to experience the gameplay, wanting to feel the combat. Because I'll be honest with you, like when I was doing the combat, like I felt Clive was a badass. Like I felt like a badass playing it, right? So it's a very interesting direction for Final Fantasy. It's very different, like all around. Just the entire feel of the game is different. And you know, it's like you said that who was involved in working on the combat? Was it the DMC people, or was it Bayonetta people? It was
DMC.
Devil May Cry. Like I just like getting away from like the
kind of active time battle,
the active turn based battle stuff, and actually making it like real time. It just completely changes everything, you know, and it does like it's I don't think it feels exactly like a character action game,
right?
Like Devil May Cry does, but it's like a really, really good blend.
I think it will, though. I think later on it will
when you start getting like the other icons and stuff.
Yeah, okay, I think so.
Okay. They don't necessarily feed into one another. Like there's not a ton of synergy to begin with, but later on. You start seeing where, okay, this attack can go into this one, and so on and so forth. So there will be more of that, and you get kind of a taste of that with the combat demo as well.
Yeah,
but
it seems like there's going to be a fair bit of like customization in your play style as well, which I appreciate a lot.
Yeah,
so.
I've been enjoying the combat for the most part. As Chris said, you know, it's not exactly like, you know, like a Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, but you can make it kind of like that. So there's like one difficulty essentially, but there's 2 different ways that you can go about playing this. You can play it at where it's action oriented. You have real-time dodges, all real-time attacks. You gotta finesse shit, or you can just put on these like 2 to 3 accessories and make the combat so much easier. So you just mash the square button, and like a series of like really cool looking attacks come out. And truth be told, I tried that out. It's fun. I feel like a huge badass doing that. I don't have that one on, but the one that I do have on is where you get a little bit of additional time for the dodge.
Dodge, yes.
And it'll come up like
in the demo.
Yes.
And it just felt really good.
It felt great. It was a good flow. Yeah.
You know,
like,
and I think the big thing for me during the demo for that particular artifact or accessory was that like when you're in combat, like shit's coming from you from all sides,
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
true.
not really a good warning of something
Of
like coming up
off-screen
behind
stuff.
you
Yeah.
off screen. So it gives you an opportunity to have that feeling of what's coming at you off screen. So yeah, I will absolutely use that one. The other two didn't seem very interested to me, but the little additional second you get for the dodge, I felt like that was good. That was a good choice.
Yep.
The only accessibility item that I'm wearing right now is the one that gives you that basically allows you to not have to worry about giving commands to the dog.
Oh, the dog. Torgal
Yeah.
is a good boy.
He is a good boy.
He's a very good boy.
I didn't know there's a dog.
He
I didn't know
launches-
there's a dog.
he
Now I
launches
want
people
the game
into the
more.
air.
God damn it, guys.
Chris,
He launches people in the air?
the dog commits air jugglery.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
cool.
Bring
That's
it.
cool.
Yes.
All right. Is it like a launcher? Can you jump up and take guys out in the air?
It's a
It's
launcher.
both. Yeah, so like you can even launch characters in the air, and
Yeah.
he will jump up and sick them and help
Nice.
bounce them and juggle them in the air.
And he
Wow.
heals
Cool,
you.
cool.
And
And
he
he
heals
heals
you.
you?
He's got a heal
He's
spell.
such a good boy.
He's the best boy. Oh, it's very exciting. Torgal is
My dog looked
My
up at
favorite.
me when I said that.
he's a good
I
boy.
said good boy, and he's like,
Huh? Me?
Yeah, what did I do?
Me? Huh?
I can heal you. I can launch enemies for you. Just let me at him.
that's good stuff. Yeah, I just ordered it today.
Okay.
So it's going to be in on Saturday.
Yeah.
I ordered the physical deluxe edition. Because I want the 2 discs, baby.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that. But
It's on 2 discs.
you know.
Did you know that? It's
I
on
did.
2 discs.
Yeah.
2 discs now.
They made a really big deal about that.
That's a big deal.
I don't know why.
I don't know if
but
you know.
They did.
2 discs.
They told everyone.
It was to hide the fact that they delayed the game. That's
Oh,
what it
yeah.
was. Yeah, it was smart.
It's like,
They
we'll
made-
just give them a free disc. They'll be fine.
They'll be
Give Jeff a steelbook.
I guess the big thing for me is like with 2 discs, it's like, why bother? You know, why
You're still going to have to install
reasoning.
all of that stuff on your hard
Yeah,
drive.
you still got to download it all and still got to install it all. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I know.
But whatever.
I wonder how much the digital version of that game is going to take up on your hard drive.
Oh, I didn't check.
I feel it's
I
got to be
mean,
big.
Yeah.
Oh no, not for Final Fantasy, because the 2 disc thing is with Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2.
Oh, is that what the 2 discs was?
That's what the 2 discs.
Oh,
are for.
okay.
I did see an article where they were contemplating whether or not Final Fantasy 16 would have been their first 2 disc game.
Oh,
But they shied away from that. But no, Final Fantasy 7 Remake will be the first 2 disc game, and that's what I'm like. Okay, is that going to be like a 200 gig install for that release or what?
gotcha.
Yes.
I thought this one might have been 2 discs as well.
Well, then they would have had to make 2 steel cases.
That's true. Oh, geez.
No one's got that kind of money.
Jeff does. For that, he's got the money.
If it's the steel cases, man, he's got it. He's
Yeah.
got it.
Hey, good on him, because games are $100
Yeah.
in Canada right now. So.
May as well
Yeah.
get something to, keep it safe. Keep it in the family for generations
So-
to come.
I personally wish I had more to talk about Final Fantasy VII. Like, I expected, just the way I hammered my playtime in Diablo, I figured that I was going to have a lot more time with Final Fantasy, but I'm still kind of like in the early, very, very linear stages. So I'm not necessarily, I talked about this off air with you guys. I'm not necessarily as mind blown like I was coming off of the demo. So it's still kind of in that very early, like, dare I say, still in that Final Fantasy 13 area of the game, where it's just a lot of like corridor dungeons, going from point A to point B to trigger the next cutscene.
But that's, I don't think that comparison is fair. Even just you talking about it, because the combat is so much more interesting.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of like the game structure. I mean, the combat is better. Like, it's better. I don't
Yeah.
hate the Final Fantasy 13 combat by any stretch, but like this, I gel with this way better than Final Fantasy 13. But yeah, I feel like I'm maybe like 2 or 3 hours away from like really being able to like see the game open up and experience what like the long term gameplay is going to be like and everything. So
Yeah.
definitely need to plug away for sure.
Yeah, at some point, it's just like it's a complete tonal shift as well. Like,
Mhm.
you're hard and heavy, like the gas pedal's down, and then all of a sudden they just kind of let off and like let you do your own thing. So
Yeah, and it sounds like it still happens rather early in your playthrough. like versus again going back to Final Fantasy 13, it took like what 20 to 25 hours to
Yeah.
get to the open area.
Oh
So like that
God,
was a
you're right.
huge commitment to get to a point where like the game
Mhm.
gets like really fun. Because yeah, that game is a little bit rough in the beginning. But yeah, hopefully next week when we start talking about it more and also having a conversation when Jeff's back, I'm excited to see what his thought process is because Jeff has a very interesting relationship with Final Fantasy. He just recently started beating Final Fantasy games.
Mhm.
So he's
As of like the
kinda,
last game, yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think that was his first one. No, but I think 7 remaster and 15 were the first 2 he beat.
Oh,
Sounds right.
really?
Yeah,
Mm.
I think so. I could be wrong there.
I know at 15, that's all I know about.
So 13 was the last one I beat. And then before that, the last one I beat was 8.
Oh wow.
I loved 9. I just never got through it all the way.
Mhm.
But yeah, 10 I got to the end. I got near the end, and then I just kind of lost interest twice. Same place.
So good.
Yeah, and 12 I couldn't get into because it was way too political. I don't know. I just was overblown with.
There's a
with
lot
the
of
story.
lore. Yeah. Jesus. There's a lot of lore in this too, but at least it's kind of kept hidden under the covers.
That's a really good thing to bring up because yeah, it's definitely like if there was no extra type of context that's giving to you or an option for context, you would be very lost.
Yeah.
In the shuffle, like what kingdom is this? Who represents this company, this country, and like what's your position in this? Like, there's just so much to like know, like what's going on with the overall, like the overall landscape of the world. And they added that really genius active, what was this? Active story
Something like
time
that.
or what? Something like that.
Active
yeah. So
story
basically,
time with Final Fantasy.
at any
Sit
point,
down, everyone.
At any point
are
in
you
the
talking
game,
about the? Are you talking about the ATL?
Yeah. So like at
That's
any
Atlanta.
point,
The ATL.
at any point in the game, like during a cutscene, you can hold down the touchpad on the PlayStation
It's
controller.
active something lore. Active
time
Time
lore.
lore.
Active time lore. Yeah. I'm like,
but yeah,
all right.
you hold down the gamepad and then it pulls up it pauses any cutscene and it pulls up a menu and it adds, and it's cool because if you've ever been on like Amazon, I think it's Amazon Prime. If you pause Amazon Prime, no other subscription service does this, but they'll actually bring up like information based on who is like, if you have like 4 actors on the screen, it'll bring up information just about those 4 actors, the writer, director, and it just gives you a little bit more context to what's going on with that movie based on who is in that scene. And they do that really, really well in this game. So if you have like Clive, Sid, and another, and someone from a specific country in one scene, you hit the prompts for the active time lore, and it pulls up a menu just focusing on the region that you're in, the characters that are there, and it just gives you the up-to-date information based on what you've experienced in the story so far. And it's just a really great. I'm doing it constantly to make sure that I am up
Following
to like
along.
I have
everything.
a good understanding of what's going on, and it's been very, very, very helpful. So that was a kind of a stroke of genius by them to include that because I think they kind of understood that we have kind of like a tangled web, quite a tangled web in this game. And it was definitely a welcome feature for sure.
Super cool.
Awesome.
That's about all I got for Final Fantasy so far.
I think that's all I have so far. Still early days.
Yep.
Early days, and I'm excited to play more. I'm constantly thinking about it when I'm not playing, so that's a positive sign.
That's the definition of terrible distraction.
Yeah.